What's good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another live, guys. And it's me and my homeboy Harambe, and we doing 10 players that can smash their ADP.
Smash.
I said what I said. 10 players that can smash their ADP, guys. So listen, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. I said what I said. This is cutting edge content. What's going on, Harambe? What's going on with you today, bro?
Happy Friday Eve.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Graduates, parents of graduates, people who have graduated, congratulations. This is your season. It's a great time of the year. We going into football season, baby. Let's go.
Yes, sir. It's big time, man. If you graduated, it's not easy. It's not easy. And I always like to show support to people who put the work in. Now, if you put the work in for what? Let me see. It's more than 12 years. It's actually like 14 years. If you put the work in for 14 years, hey, thumbs up to you guys. You're killing it. You are phenomenal. You are phenoms. So anything you want to talk about, bro, before we get started into fantasy?
Game 1 tonight, right? Should be going on right now, I think.
Yes.
I got the Celtics. I got the Celtics in the series in 7.
I agree with you. My heart, I'm a Duke fan, so you know I love Kyrie. So I want Kyrie to win. I like Luka, I like his game, but I think Boston has the best team. I just think they deeper. So pause. I just think they deeper. So that's all I would say. Also, guys, listen, put all your comments in the comment section, guys. We're going to go through the content first, and then we're going to address the comment section, unless you super chat. If you super chat or you become a member, then you can get your questions answered before then, right at that point in time. Yeah. So, let me see if there's anything else I want to talk about. Anything in football going on? Any new contracts? Any kind of type of whispers?
Nothing really I saw since the last live, but I'm always on the lookout. Like, I'm always watching that news throughout the day, when I'm at working.
Right. Yeah, I know Christian McCaffrey got 18 million.
He
got 18 million. Yeah.
It's a lot more money than I got.
Right. And I think he got 18 million. I think it was a good deal for him. I think it was a good deal for both. Listen, he is the best player on that team. That team has a couple Hall of Famers, and I think he's the best player. And I think Christian McCaffrey is a Hall of Famer. Now, listen, y'all always, I always say I'm not going to draft him, but that's two different things. And that's what I want to kind of teach y'all about my channel. Like, just because I'm saying I'm not going to draft the guy doesn't mean that I don't think that guy can be good in fantasy. Listen, guys, I don't know everything. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that now. I don't know everything.
You don't?
I'm wrong. Yeah. Excuse me. Now, I think I am right more than I'm wrong, but I miss on some players. But I'm willing to go down with my ship, and that's what I want to teach y'all. The power is yours, as Captain Planet used to say. I want to teach y'all how to pick a player. You say, listen, well, TD, I like this player. Then pick him. Just don't complain. So if CMC the number one player, I'm not going to complain if I don't take him. And then if he fall to me at the right ADP, I'm ready to take him. So congratulations to CMC, man. He deserved it. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he got $18 million, and it's hard for running backs to make money. And every time he gets paid, it's going to help the running back market. Let me see if there's anything else I want to talk about. Are they also talking about Debo or Ayuk might get traded too?
That's been in the news like the past couple weeks. In Dynasty, I picked up Jennings,
right,
the third wide receiver, just in case one of them moves. I also have Debo on my squad, so possible trade piece,
Right. Real quick, hey, the road, man, I don't know what's going on. I have to do some more research, but the live that I'm doing, I don't think it's going to allow anybody outside of one guest. So next time I'm going to try to check that and go and try to stream around and see if I can bring on multiple guests, but I don't think I can in this type of format. But bro, next time we're going to do a different type of setup, and I'll bring you up. So, man, I appreciate you being here, man, but my bad. I thought I could bring up multiple people, but it looks like I'm not going to be able to. Okay. So, Harambe, go ahead and start off with your ADP smasher, bro.
My first one will start with quarterback, right? So it's not really a no name, but this guy's being drafted way later than maybe he should be, and it's Green Bay Packers quarterback Jordan Love. Jordan Love. So Rodgers is there. They draft the first round quarterback, and everyone's going, what the hell? What are they doing? And then he learned the NFL game, and then he had his chance, and he balled out. He was, I believe, a top 5, if not the 6th overall quarterback, right? And that's without Christian Watson being healthy all year. So, in my opinion, they added a power runner for the run game, maybe a less of a PPR style back, but that's going to allow Jordan Love to slice and dice these defenses up. So I'm ecstatic about Jordan Love. I think he can return insane value where he's being drafted at. He's being drafted in like the 7th round, the 8th round. That's going to pay off. So if you stack your roster with elite running backs and wide receivers and a good tight end, and then you add that guy, man, who knows what you could do.
Right. Guys, make sure you get the likes up. We got 19 people in here. We only got 5 likes, so make sure you get the likes up. As you come in, guys, hit the thumbs up button. It helps us out.
If you guys,
it's the video out in the algorithm. But
you don't know how the three dots up in the corner, you hit that, and it should give you the thumbs up icon. Hit that. Help us out.
Thank you, Harambe. Because sometimes I don't think people know what to do. Thank you, Harambe.
I didn't know how. I had to learn how.
Right. So this is what I would say. Listen, I love Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love was the number 1 quarterback, right, in the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season.
I think it was Dak or Josh.
You sure the last 5 or 6 weeks? I think he caught Dak at the end.
It was one of those guys.
Okay.
They all ball. We know that.
Because I know Dak and CD was from like week 9, 8. Dak was hot, but then I think like week 16, 17, 18, and then going into the playoffs, I thought it was Jordan Love, but I could be mistaken. But either way, guys, I love Jordan Love. I was on Jordan Love last year, even when he was struggling. I am a loyal cat, even if I have to go down with the ship, just like I am in a relationship. And pause, I don't mean that relationship like, with a friend, but any type of relationship. I'm not just going to run the first time a sign of trouble. And that's how you have to be with your players. If you had Jordan Love, most of you got off of him. Pause. I said what I said. Most of you got off of him when he started struggling early not early, but kind of maybe in the middle of the season, like the 2nd quadrant. And then he ended up hitting. Then it was too late if you got off of him. So listen, I love Jordan Love. I think this is great value. I think this is a year that you can wait late for quarterbacks and pick up a guy like Jordan Love, and he end up being a league winner for you. Now, a lot of people like Josh Jacobs. Did y'all hear the news about Josh Jacobs? Well, they said this is a committee. Now, listen, they said this is a committee, and I said that I didn't need to hear that, but it validated what I had already thought. Listen, I'm not saying that Josh Jacobs is not going to get goal line carries and he can't get 10 rushing touchdowns and 1,000 yards rushing, but they're not going to run this guy into the ground. And the reason why they're not going to run this guy into the ground because they don't want him to have an injury. They want to use him in the real playoffs, in the NFL playoffs. So this is a Jordan Love team. I believe when they get down to the red zone, it's going to be play action to Josh Jacobs or A.J. Dillon, and they're going to throw it to Luke Musgrave or Christian Watson or Dontavius Wicks or Tucker Kraft.
You know who I want Jordan Love over this year?
Who?
Patrick Mahomes.
Yes. Cutting edge content.
100%. What do you guys think?
Yep. Put it in the chat, guys. What y'all think? How y'all feel about Jordan Love? Okay, so I'm going to move on to my quarterback that I like, that I think you're smashing on the ADP. And this guy is Matthew Stafford. I think he has a chance to win MVP this year. The reason why he has 2 wide receivers who's finished as the top 5 when they played the full season. So now we know injuries can happen, but let's just say these guys play 80% or 90% of the snaps for the whole season. I believe that's going to benefit Matthew Stafford the most. I believe Cooper Kupp is still going to be a league guy. I think he's a top 12 guy, and I think Puka Nacua is a top 12 guy with a ceiling of top 5. So I'm willing to take Matthew Stafford and wait late and get him in what? Depending on the league format, round 8, round 9 in single quarterback leagues.
Later.
Or later. Or even later. So I love Matthew Stafford this year, guys. Don't you know what Matthew Stafford has did for Golden Tate, Calvin Johnson, Marvin Jones, Odell Beckham, Cooper Kupp? He's made these guys top 5 guys. He probably didn't have more top 5 wide receivers than any quarterback in league history, as far as in fantasy. So that's why I'm taking Matthew Stafford. He knows how to hyper target a guy to help benefit us in fantasy football. How do you feel about Matthew Stafford, Harambe?
I'm rolling Matthew Stafford out in my Dynasty Superflex with Lamar. I agree with you. I think he's like a dark horse MVP candidate, and it might not even be that dark horse. Like if that team stays healthy, he's got weapons for days. That system, he can benefit that system even more with those healthy weapons. So yeah, I mean, is he a little older? Yeah, but he's what 37, 36, something like that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm all over Matthew Stafford. Pause.
Right. Right. And 35, 36 is young for a quarterback in this day and game when you can't even really hit a quarterback hard. Pause.
Oh, he can still sling it now.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
you just
I
can't.
think that's a great pick, man.
Right. Right. Guys, put it who you think. Who are your quarterback? What quarterback do you think is going to smash their ADP this year? Put it in the comment section, guys.
Yeah, if you guys got some names that maybe even aren't being drafted, throw it in the chat. We could address that at the end.
Yes, sir.
All right. You want to move on to the next position? You want to do running backs?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
You want me to start off?
Yeah.
Okay. So my running back guys that I like this year that I think is going to smash, and I've talked a lot about these guys. I wasn't going to go and just try to pick somebody that I haven't talked about just to try to do that because there's a couple of guys that I could have mentioned, but I want to make sure y'all are drafting the right guys. Guys, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. But the guy that I like is Zamir White. He's going in round 7 as a running back, and they didn't draft not one running back this year. They didn't draft a running back. So what do you think going to happen? They picked up Alexander Madison. You think Alexander Madison is going to come and take goal line opportunities from Zamir White? You think this team is going to be a top 30, like a bottom 32 offense where they're not going to score but 14 points a game? No. If you watch them against Kansas City, who had a good defense last year, also just the last 4 games in the regular season of last year, which was the 4th quadrant, which was the fantasy football playoffs, Zamir White was a top 12 running back. He finished top 5 one week. I think it was week 16, 15. He finished as a number 1 top 5 running back. I believe this guy's also going to catch passes. He's not terrible in the passing game.
I agree.
So, and they have a Gardner Minshew, so they're not going to be passing the ball a lot, guys. Right? This is going to be the run first team. So the guy that I want on this team is Zamir White and Devontae Adams and Brock Bowers. Outside of that, I don't really want anybody else on this offense. So, guys, I love Zamir White.
I think an interesting stack would be like Zamir White and the Raiders defense. Because you go back to that Christmas game in KC, they dominated. They played filthy defense and they ran the ball and they destroyed the Kansas City Chiefs on Christmas. Taylor Swift, she's writing an album. She is bent. She's hurt. Travis Kelce is hurt. They destroyed the Chiefs on Christmas with that power run game, which featured Zamir White and that defense. So I agree 100%. I think next year he's probably maybe third, 4th round running back.
Right.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. I don't think Madison's really going to do much.
No, he's just there. He's just another body. Just to in case something happens to Zamir White, right? That's all. He's not getting no carries from Zamir White. Not the goal line. That's all that matters, man. It's not about how many attempts you have anymore. Only a few guys that matter about the attempts. It's about the goal line opportunities.
Is Brandon Bolden still there?
Yeah, but that's for receiving. He might come in for a little bit for receiving, but you think he's going to come down and catch a pass on the goal line?
No, I just think he's there as a veteran presence.
Right. as a pass catcher running back.
Yeah.
Antonio Pierce, remember, he played with not Josh Jacobs, but Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw. So he wants tough running backs. He wants guys who's going to be bell cow. And Zamir White, they went with Zamir White because he was not saying that Josh Jacobs ain't better, but why would you pay $15 million or $10 million a year for Josh Jacobs when you got a guy like Zamir White who is really good at Georgia? Remember, it was Zamir White and James Cook who won that championship against Alabama, who had a good defense. And they had Anderson out there. They had good linebackers out there. And Zamir White and James Cook ran through that offensive line. Through that defensive line. Pause.
Got some new members in the chat. I got to be careful with what I say because I got a fellow GM in one of my leagues in here, so I can't give him no secrets, right?
Right. Right. Appreciate you being here, bro. Appreciate you being here.
All right, man. My ADP smasher is Steelers running back Jaylen Warren. Jaylen Warren. So, again, going back to the last live we did, they brought in Art Smith, right? What does he like to do? He likes to run the ball way too many times. And they have two very talented running backs there. They already said they're not going to commit to Najee. So Najee, I do think, will carry quite a bit of value as well. But, maybe they want to see what they got in Jaylen Warren for a future, franchise running back. And he carries PPR value as well. So, in my opinion, we might see, a record-setting running back tandem this year with that run game and those two running backs. So both are good picks, but maybe give me the value pick in Jaylen Warren, right?
Right.
What do you think about that?
I listen, I have a friend, he's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. He's been telling me that, but I think he's biased, right? But I can see what he's saying because you got Arthur Smith, and Arthur Smith's run game is probably one of the best run games in the whole NFL. So I do respect that run game. I do really like Najee. But Jaylen Warren has been more explosive, so I have to give Jaylen Warren respect. And I believe both of these guys are great ADP smashers. So yeah, man. I like Jaylen Warren. The only thing that I would push back on a little bit, I think Najee is going to get more goal line carries than him. That's the only thing. But I do think Jaylen Warren is going to catch more passes than Najee. Guys, what do you think? Who do you think going to catch more passes? I mean, who do you think is going to be the goal line back for this team? Do you think it's going to be Najee, or do you think it's going to be Jaylen Warren, or do you think that Najee is going to get the goal line and Jaylen Warren is going to be the PPR satellite back? Which that's what it looks like, right? As in right now.
Yeah, what's the over-under for each of them for carries on the year? 700 carries a piece, right?
Right. Well, you mean not 700, but you mean what? About probably 200?
Oh, I'm exaggerating because all our does he runs the ball.
Right.
So to the moon with these running backs.
Right. And I think they're a perfect squeeze. I talk about squeezing a running back field. If I draft Najee, I want to get Jaylen Warren too.
That would be a tandem. If you're going to squeeze the running game from a team, it would be like them and the Bengals.
Right. I agree.
And the Titans.
Yep. And the Titans. There's a couple teams out there that you would want to squeeze on, pause, that you would want to get both of those running backs. But I believe it. I've been saying that for about 3 years, man, about getting two running backs on the same team and playing them at the same time. A lot of people say, I ain't playing the two running backs at the same time. I believe in this day and game, you can do that.
What's the best tandem in the game? That's the Detroit Lions, right?
Detroit Lions. Yep. Yes, sir.
If you can land that tandem, you're doing well. So,
right.
Who is your wide receiver ADP smasher?
My wide receiver. So, guys, make sure you hit the like button. Let's get the likes up, fellas. We got 20 people in the chat. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up, at least about 10 to 12. Come on, guys. Let's get the likes up. My wide receiver, bro, is going to be Christian Kirk. And the reason why, we know Calvin Ridley left. I believe Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk was the same player. Now, was Calvin Ridley a little bit better? I would say he was a little bit better. He may be a little bit of a better route runner.
He's different.
I believe Christian Kirk is a great PPR guy. Now, the reason why you bring in Brian Thomas in, he's not a prototypical great route runner. He's more of a downfield threat, big play guy, is because you got Christian Kirk and you got Evan Ingram. And you also got Travis Etienne. So they need somebody who can stretch the field, who can stretch those walls. Pause.
It's a lot of
So
stretching.
I like Christian Kirk to be underneath and be a sleeper top 12 guy and basically a top 24 wide receiver because Trevor Lawrence does have to pass the ball. So who is the most reliable pass catcher as a wide receiver? Now, Evan Ingram been a top 5 tight end, but who's the most reliable wide receiver? It's going to be Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk, guys, had what? He had over 80 catches last year. So I like
got
Christian
hurt
Kirk,
too, didn't
especially
he?
with Calvin Ridley being gone.
He got hurt, didn't he?
Yes, he got hurt and he missed like 4 games. That's when Zay Jones came. And Zay Jones is also gone too, by the way.
I think that's a great pick. I feel to some GMs he might be like a polarizing receiver to draft early. So people tend to let him, slide in drafts. But yeah, that's the wide receiver one on the Jags. And to get T-Law right this year, he's going to go back. He's going to go back to his favorite target, which is him.
Right.
And the coach loves him. Coach brought him over.
Right.
Yeah.
And they let Calvin Ridley go. Right.
He's
and
gone.
they also let Calvin Ridley go. So they trust Christian Kirk.
He gone. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree 100%. That's a great pick. I almost chose him as my wild card player, which we'll get into later, because I feel like he's undervalued for what he can return. So I do think he smashes his ADP as well.
Right.
It's a great
Agreed.
call. And for mine, DeAndre House of Pancakes, D-Hop, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I like that. That's your nickname for him?
Yeah. He's obviously got the trust of the starting quarterback. And earlier in the chat, people were saying Will Levis. In our last live, he was a super sleeper quarterback, which I'd feel okay even ruling out as my starting QB maybe later in the season. So what's going to happen? All these playmakers are going to benefit, and they're installing the Bengals passing game in Tennessee. They're moving away from Henry, the power run game. They're going to start chucking the ball all over the field. And they have a lot of weapons at their disposal. So, in my opinion, he's getting up there in age, but that doesn't matter. The guy is a talent. He's a Hall of Famer, I would think, probably.
Right.
And I don't see him slowing down. And he's going to be excited to play with Will Levis as a full-time starter, right?
Right.
So, in my opinion, if you can land that guy as like a wide receiver 3 or a 4, man, you're going to do some damage.
Right. I love that for D-Hop, man. I think that might be one of the best ADP smashers on both our lists. I love D-Hop. And he doesn't need speed. He's a what I'll call a possession wide receiver who can jump ball you. So he never used speed as his game. So I like him. If Will Levis can put the ball out there where it's a jump ball between the corner or the safety and D-Hop is going to make that play 90% of the time. So I love that. I think him and D-Hop is going to be more on the same page this year with that. So, bro, I love the D-Hop pick. I mean, you getting D-Hop in what? The 10th round? 9th round?
9th, 10th, yeah.
That's killer. That's single quarterback league? That's killer.
Yeah.
That is killer value. If I'm in a dynasty league and I need a wide receiver 3, I don't mind trading a 3rd or 2nd round pick to try to win a championship and get D-Hop. I think nobody wants to play against D-Hop as a 3rd wide receiver. I know I don't. Now, if he's your 1st wide receiver, I feel okay. I feel like, okay, I got a shot. He might not go for 30 points. But D-Hop, knowing that he can go for 40 points and he's a wide receiver 3 and he can get hyper-targeted, especially early in the season, he can end up being – because who would be surprised if D-Hop finishes as a top 12 wide receiver? None of us will be surprised because we know what he's capable of doing. It's all about Will Levis. Because if D-Hop right now played for Joe Burrow, we were like, oh, my God. We will all be like, love D-Hop. But because of Will Levis brings his value down. So that's a great pick around me, man. I love that pick, my bro.
Imagine if an older D-Hop is the wide receiver 1 on the Chiefs. He's going in what, late 2nd, early 3rd?
Right. That you know it. You know it.
Yeah. All day, man. All day. So let's move on to the tight end. Pause. For my ADP smashing tight end, it's Jake Ferguson of the Dallas Cowboys. I believe he was a top 12 tight end, possibly top 10 to finish the year. And if you go back several seasons, all their starting tight ends are PPR gold. They're value picks. You had Schultz. He got paid and went to the other team. And then you got Ferguson now. I even picked him up once last year, and he scored and had, I think, over 100 yards. Later in the season, I won. I destroyed my opponent that week. So to me, another year in the system with the coach, with Dak, he's gonna be a go-to guy, a check down guy. And they don't really have that good of a running game. I mean, they have serviceable guys, but like if they gotta check it down, it's probably gonna go to him. And he's also a red zone target.
Right.
So in my opinion, he's gonna smash his ADP, and I'll be targeting Jake Ferguson in my drafts.
Right.
And you're a Cowboys fan, man.
Right.
You're a Cowboys fan. Tell us.
Right, man. How do you? So it's basically you drafting the 14th or 15th tight end coming off the board, and this guy is the QB1 at the third or fourth quadrant of last year favorite target. That type of math equals great ADP value. I love Ferguson. I mean, I'm willing. Like, if I don't get Njoku or Trey McBride or somebody like that, I got another guy that I like at tight end. I'm gonna talk about him later. But I love taking Ferguson, bro. I think Fergie. I don't want to call him Fergie Licious. Pause. But yeah, I love Fergie, bro. I think he's a great value, man. He's the number one safe target for Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I've always thought the Dallas tight end and the quarterback have always been value picks going back the last 5 years.
Right.
So if you stack up on these elite, receivers, and you get some good running backs and a quarterback, and you're like, oh shit, I need a tight end, and that guy's on the board, that's a smash pick.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All
and
right.
Let's talk about your smash ADP tight end.
Yes, sir. Yes. And then and my tight end, his route run is very tight. Pause. So yeah, my tight end, guys, is Isaiah Likely. Yes, guys, Isaiah Likely. And the reason why I like Isaiah Likely, and I'm willing to even fade Mark Andrews and take Isaiah Likely. I said what I said. I'm willing to fade Isaiah Likely. Fade Mark Andrews and pick up Isaiah Likely. And the reason why, guys, I believe Isaiah Likely is going to be used as a wide receiver in this offense. He's not a prototypical inline blocking tight end. So you getting basically a third wide receiver who's going to be going downfield making plays for Lamar Jackson, who extends the hell out of plays. He extends the hell out of plays. So Isaiah Likely don't have to be some type of big time route runner. When you have Lamar Jackson on your team and you are a fast guy and you know how to play, because Isaiah Likely played for Coastal Carolina and he was like some type of hybrid tight end wide receiver guy. So man, I love his value, man. I actually think, man, he can end up being a top 12 tight end. I actually believe that. If he plays the whole season, they're not going to use Mark Andrews like. They're not going to hyper-target him every single game. They're going to use them on the goal line and green zone. Now, will Mark Andrews have 10 receiving touchdowns? Yeah. But will Isaiah Likely maybe catch more passes or have a better ADOT, which is a better, average depth per target? Yes. I believe this guy can have, 12 or 13 yards per target and have a lot of big plays for Lamar. So I love Isaiah Likely. I don't think outside of Rashad Bateman and Zay Flowers that I trust any of those other wide receivers.
I would agree. And we saw it last year, right? When Andrews went down, he's a different kind of tight end. He's like a Walmart Kyle Pitts, right?
Right.
So he can run routes and he has speed and he's explosive. And he was probably a league winner for some people, I would think, in the fourth quadrant last year.
Yes, sir.
So I even read an article. Mark Andrews is talking him up.
Right.
Lamar is slimmed down. He's chiseled a little bit more. Pause. But I think he's going to throw more this year. He can't take all the beating in the run game. He's still going to run, but that just adds another element to the passing game. We know Zay Flowers is a stud. We saw it late in the year. I'm expecting a boom year out of Bateman. And then you got Andrews if he's healthy, and then you add in Likely and Derrick Henry. Damn.
Come on. And so who's going to benefit that? Who got the lowest ADP out of all those guys? Isaiah Likely.
Facts.
So
Facts. I love that pick, man.
right. So let's see, man. Let's get to our bonus. We got bonus guys. We got 2 bonus guys, man. Who's your bonus flex play that you believe is going to smash the ADP, bro? Guys, make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Guys, also become a member of the channel. If you want to become a member of the channel, you want to come up and chop it up with me, Harambe, and you want to do mock drafts with us, all you got to do is become a member of the channel. But you got to become a Pro Bowl tier or better. You get first priority. If you're a Phenom member, guys, you get priority on everything, and you get half off on the draft guide. Anything merchandise. I got some killer merchandise coming. I got some merchandise. Pause. It's gonna be some of that pause merchandise. Y'all know y'all love that, so that's coming. But yeah, who's your flex play, bro?
So I chose a quarterback, and this is a guy who we've seen he can ball out, right? He can chuck the ball. He's got weapons. He's in a good scheme. He has good coaching. He's confident. He's been plagued by injuries. He's been to the Super Bowl. Joseph Burrow.
Oh.
So I chose Joe Burrow because I think a lot of GMs are going to fade him. Not too much, but just enough to where he might be an ADP smasher. So they might get timid in the draft and take guys, Hurts, Allen, Stroud, guys like that, Mahomes. If this guy's healthy and their defense isn't as good, like you said in a past video, and he's thrown it a lot, he's going to put up monster numbers.
Right.
And another element to it, Jamar's in a contract year, right?
Come
So
on now.
he's gonna feed his favorite wide receiver, pause.
Come
And they
on.
can put up insane numbers and stats. So to me, he's a wild card. And if he's healthy and finishes the season and he could do like what we think he could do, he could finish as the QB1. And he doesn't run that much. He might put up insane numbers. So it's a wild card. It's a wild card. I think some people will be smart and draft him. I think some people will fade him. So that's why he's my wild card. But I'm all aboard the Joe Burrow train. Pause.
Right. I love Joe Burrow. I love Jamar Chase. And I like T. Higgins as the second wide receiver on this team. If those guys stay healthy, we are going to be regretting not drafting these guys higher.
I agree.
If they don't stay healthy and they have little nick injuries, we are going to be like, yeah, we don't really want to touch that offense because they're a little bit volatile. So I love Joe Burrow. I think he is an ADP buster, even though he's up high, right? He's still like being top 10 quarterbacks off the board. But last year he was like top 3 quarterbacks off the board. So you getting this guy at a value this year. So I love what you're saying, bro. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I'm biased. I'm a Bengals fan, but I'm trying not to think with my heart. But if he puts it all together and stays healthy, like that's a playoff team, I would think, just based off their offense, right?
Right.
What about you, man? Who's your wild card?
So yeah, man, I went with my home team too. It looked like we was on the same algorithm today. So
I already know who you're gonna say. I know who you're gonna say.
Yep. Ezekiel Elliott. Yep.
Mm.
And I believe that Ezekiel Elliott is going to be a great ADP buster. And the reason why I believe that, guys, I want the chat right now, guys. Everybody that's in here, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. Tell me who is the best running back on the Dallas Cowboys? Is it Rico Dowdle? Is it Deuce Vaughn? Is it Ezekiel Elliott? Who's getting the goal line touches?
Zeke. He's going to jump in that red Salvation Army bucket thing on Christmas.
Come on now.
He's going to do it for the kids.
Come on now.
I agree, man.
I love Zeke. I think Zeke is going to get about 12 to 15 carries a game. Rico Dowdle is going to be okay too. This is the 2 guys that's going to play. Rico Dowdle looked good when he was healthy. But Zeke is going to get the goal line carries, and Zeke can have a bounce back year, that's a whole different value. But I bounce back, like, even though he had a solid year with Patriots, but he could have 15 rushing touchdowns. He could be David Montgomery. He could be a top 12 running back because all he got to do is, okay, throw it to CD, throw it to Tolbert, get down there. You get to the 3-yard line, I'm still in good enough shape. I'm still strong enough to get the ball in on short yardage. I may not can run for a 70-yard touchdown anymore, but I can get the ball in on short yardage. He's still a great short yardage back. That's what you do as you get older. If you watch any sport, you still are good. You're not young, so you can't do the long plays or whatever, however you want to look at it, but you still can come in spurts and dominate. And I believe that Ezekiel Elliott will be able to dominate in short yardage. The Cowboys could be one of the best short yardage teams in the game. So I love Zeke Elliott, guys. He's probably, I don't know if he's getting drafted in some leagues. I don't know if he's getting drafted, but I say if he's not, guys, you have to draft him. You cannot let this guy hit the waiver wire. If he does, you better get him. You better spend everything you can if he hit the waiver wire in the beginning of the season.
You don't need a lot out of Zeke. Like, he's going to get his carries, but they're going to move the ball. And in the red zone, that just creates another element for their offense, right?
Right.
So if he gets 40 yards a game and a touchdown, that's like a perfect running back 2 and a 0 RB approach. He's like a perfect RB2 with 0 RB approach. So he'll be drafted in my league. He'll go late, but he'll definitely be drafted. I think he has value. He's going to have better value on that team than the Patriots.
Right.
Yeah. And then that's kind of why I chose Jake Ferguson as the tight end, because once they get in that red zone, there's the Zeke's there too, so they got to account for that, right?
Right.
Yeah, right. Man, I love that pick.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, bro. So, guys, I guess we're gonna start getting to the comments. So make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. If you want your comment, if you don't want us to wait late and get to your comment, you super chat. Other than that, guys, we're gonna go from the top comment all the way down. If we miss your comment, we apologize. But if it's kind of redundant, we're not gonna read it out. But if it's a good question, we will read it out. Haram, I guess you can start off and read a couple of them, and then I'll get to some of them.
Yeah, if you guys have questions you want answered that aren't even related to this stream, post them. It's open forum, so we're here to win titles, except for G. Willikers. I don't need that guy to win a title. All right, so we'll start at the top. Zach became a member again. Thank you, Zach. You get a trophy. You get an emoji trophy. Doomsday said, "What up, good people?" And then we'll address in the live stream, which we'll do that later. I said Celtics in 7. Zach thinks in 6. What's the game like right now, guys? Why don't you post a score or something? Someone mentioned they were steamrolling the Mavs. I don't want Mark Cuban to win. I said they stack. And then Zach agrees. He thinks Jordan Love's going to the moon. And then CHB confirmed that Jordan Love was top quarterback the last 5 weeks of the season. So thanks, man. Zach said Jordan Love, Stroud, and Jared Goff, he's targeting the most as quarterbacks in his leagues. And then the Roll thinks Mahomes any day over Jordan Love. I get it. It's Mahomes, and they're talking about pushing the ball down the field this year. But I got a chip on my shoulder last year with that guy. I'll have a piece of the Chiefs, but I don't know if it's going to be Mahomes.
Right. And you're not saying that if Mahomes and Love is both on the board. I mean, you may be saying that. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but if I could get Mahomes late where Love is going, then that's different.
100%. This is assuming he goes early, like one of the top quarterbacks off the board.
Correct.
Zach said Josh Jacobs looks slow in OTAs. No. CHB said he would take him over Mahomes. Zach agreed. Roll loves him some Mahomes. Jordan gets the love. In Dynasty, definitely Mahomes. I could see that. Yeah, I mean, he was number 1 off the board in my Dynasty draft. And then in redraft, he can see himself taking Love. That's what the Roll said. Stack your fantasy team, then go get Goff or Stafford late in the draft. Cutting
yes, sir. That's my strategy this year. I'm waiting late to get quarterbacks in a lot of leagues.
Yep. GDLT gave us some thumbs up. Thanks for being here.
Yes, sir, bro. Appreciate you. He been following me for a while now.
And then Broad Street Bullies Fantasy Football said, I'm on the fence about Stafford with his with his injury history. What do you think about that?
And that's facts. But you can't worry about that. But guess what? You can get another quarterback to back him up with his ADP. That's why I love him. It ain't like you getting Mahomes and then you're gonna have to cover up with that, or even AR. A lot of people are getting backups for AR. But guess what? If you wanted to, you could get AR and you could back him up with Matthew Stafford if you wanted to. And then you could make a trade. But yes, I'm not gonna sit here and cap. You do have to be considerate of Matthew Stafford injury history.
CHB said Will Levis is on his love list. I think it's consensus that me and TD, we are on the love train. Pause.
Yeah, pause.
Weird stuff. I think that passing game is going to surprise people in Tennessee, and I think a lot of people are sleeping on that passing game. They're not going to be winning too many games, I don't think. So they might be trailing, maybe like kind of same situation as the Bengals. They're going to be playing catch up. So those guys are going to at least have garbage time, if not, some boom plays, right?
Garbage time is fantasy football best friend.
I agree. I love garbage.
Me too.
All right. Good weight on QB guy. Yep. Pause. LOL. Stafford is definitely MVP worthy. Yeah. I think people think Stafford's washed. He's got a couple of years left. I think he does.
Right.
Zach said he's got Jordan Love, Stafford, stack in one of his Dynasty Superflex leagues. Yeah, that's money. I'm rolling out Lamar and Stafford. I wish I had Jordan Love in Dynasty. Pause again. So many pauses, bro. Will Levis, yes. It's looking like the Mavs can't keep up with these boys. Sheesh. And we'll get to the chats below to see if the Mavs caught up. The roll said Bryce Young. Yes, sir. We both agree on that. James Cook. Yeah. So James Cook is interesting because he sort of broke out this last year, but he was an insanely frustrating player to have. I had him on my team and he pissed me off a lot. So he might smash his ADP by a round or two, and then next year might be a late first rounder, early second rounder. Maybe.
Right. I think you have to look at him differently, Rambi. You was looking at him, and I was upset too. But then after a while, I realized what type of player he is. You can't expect him to be a bell cow.
No.
You know how you looked at Jahmyr Gibbs when David Montgomery was active? That's how you have to look at James Cook. But this year, I think he has more of a Jahmyr Gibbs year. But he's never gonna get 90% of the carries.
Walmart Jamal Charles.
You could call him that. Jamal Charles was the truth, though.
No, he's a bell cow, but like he reminds me of in the PPR game, in the passing game, he's very skilled, and I don't think we've seen ceiling in the passing game yet.
Right. I think Stephon Diggs being let go, we have to correlate that to a better season for James Cook. That's my opinion.
Broad Street Bully, speaking of James Cook, said James Cook is my favorite running back this season. All of them vacated targets with Diggs being gone. I believe Allen finally checks it down and a little more James Cook. Yeah, we both agree on that.
Right.
Zach said Zamir White, rocket ship to the moon. Let's go. I agree.
Sir.
Montgomery's still a solid value. Gibbs should take a step up, but DeMont should still eat and have goal line opportunities. He scored 13 touchdowns last year.
Right. He's still going to be safe. That's a safe play. Or play them together. Squeeze both of them, pause, and play them together.
Yes. The offense is going to be better. It'll be better this year. So, yeah, any one of those running backs on your squad is good. Broad Street also said, I like Tajay Spears, believe people sleeping on him and has a chance to overtake Pollard. TD, I know you agree with that.
Yes, I do agree with that. I'm willing to go. So if I got to choose between Tony Pollard and Tajay, I'm going with Tajay. And I actually think this is probably my number, because we probably will, but we need to do a live where we're going to do what's the top squeezes in the NFL. And I believe this is probably, I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all now, a spoiler. I believe this is probably the top squeeze of all running back fields. Both of these guys are going to be getting targets early, but I believe Tajay Spears is the better, most explosive guy. Even Derrick Henry wasn't upset when Tajay was getting more snaps than him. He know what Tajay was. Now, Tajay, guys, has a short window, so be careful trading for him in Dynasty. he has no cartilage in his knees, in one of his knees. But so doesn't Raheem Mostert. And Raheem Mostert has played and been healthy 80-90% of the games for the last 2 years. I'm very surprised about how Raheem Mostert health is, but I got to give credit to Mike McDaniels by being up to manage that, and I believe that's what they're gonna do with Tyjae Spears.
Steve Gartz. It's a weird name. Which Titans running back is the better pick? And the roll said Pollard. So I actually agree with the roll on this one. I do like both running backs. There's a different part in the script. He went to college in Tennessee, so it's kind of like him coming home, right?
Who went to college in Tennessee?
Pollard, Memphis.
Yeah. Okay. I was thinking Tennessee. You know what? Memphis is part of Tennessee.
You would think in the Vols.
Right.
Yeah, I got you. So,
Right.
he might he's a hometown guy. So I think they kind of went to get him to put, people in the stands and whatnot in this transition for this team. And I think he'll be a great value pick, probably an ADP smasher as well. I think both of those running backs will be good pickups. And
Right.
then Zach thinks it's Tyjae Spears. So we got debate in the chat. It's based on how you look at it. I don't think you could go wrong either way, especially how valuable Pollard's going to be in drafts. He's going to go late. So
Correct.
either one of those guys is a good pick.
Yep.
Broad Street said, I forgot about Warren. He, in my opinion, is top dog on Steelers. We see him slowly taking over last season. Yeah, they're going to move on from Najee. So they're probably going to want to see what he can do long term. I'm talking about Warren over the course of the season. If he doesn't do anything, maybe they go draft a running back next year. Who knows?
Or get Najee on a discount for about $8 million a year.
Yeah, a discount. $8 million. Crazy.
Right.
Wow. Steve Gar said, give me Jalen all day. Took him in all 4 of my leagues last year. And then Harambe's homeboy said, I know, LOL. Zach said, Brian Thomas Jr. Yeah, man. That's another squeeze tandem. The Commanders running game.
Right.
Good call, Zach.
Is he talking about Brian Thomas from the wide receiver from the Jaguars, or is he talking about Brian Thomas, the running back from the Washington Commanders?
I think he's talking about the Commanders, but he might be talking about the wide receiver.
Right. Either way, we'll address both of them. Listen, I'm not gonna sleep on Brian Thomas, but he will get goal line carries. But he also playing with a rookie. So, that I like Austin Eckler just because of the rookie factor. But going to Brian Thomas Jr. from the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think this guy could be a sneaky best rookie wide receiver because he's playing with a veteran quarterback. He's playing with a veteran veteran offensive coordinator, and all he got to do is go deep. Pause. Right? It's easy. He's more athletic than most of the corners that he's going to play, so he don't have to be a dynamic route runner. They're not going to ask him to get open like Calvin Ridley. They're going to ask him just just get deep, right? Pause, and beat the guy in front of you. So I like Brian Thomas Jr.
I agree, man. That's a good call, Zach. Aaron, what's up? Want to say, hey, I'm glad you got the league filled. That should be a fun season, man. Devontae Smith, I believe Kellen Moore finally unleashes Devontae Smith on deep routes. As a Eagles fan, watching Devontae was frustrating because they limited him and not let him truly unleash. Yeah, we saw, I had AJ Brown last year and he didn't do anything, and then he complained, and then he was balling out of control, and then nothing happened, and then Smitty balled out. So I think it's a good idea to have one of those pass catchers from that team with that OC, and I do think Kellen Moore will scheme him to exploit his talents.
Right.
And he's probably a better value than AJ Brown, right? He put up somewhat similar numbers. You get him 2 rounds later.
Right. So it's a couple wide receiver twos that I like. I like Jalen Waddle. I like Devontae Smith. And I'm not going to sit here and hate on T. Higgins when he's healthy. I like wide receiver twos, and mostly it's because of my football background. As a defensive coordinator, I can take the number 1 guy away. I can double team him. I can send all types of zone coverages at him. But if the wide receiver 2 is good and my second corner cannot guard him, I'm in trouble. So that's why I love Devontae Smith. And I believe you're going to take A.J. Brown away, and then Devontae Smith is going to eat you for the PPR points. Pause. Serious pause.
Massive pause.
Right.
Smash. Nifty said, what are we moving on to, Harambe? I said we were moving on to the tight end. So we moving on, right?
Yes, sir.
William Johnson. What's up, guys? First time here. Love fantasy football. Thanks for video and info. Yeah, man. You should subscribe to the channel. We're going to do these Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then we're going to have the sleeper draft on Sundays. So we're going to try to get a nice schedule going for you guys.
Yes.
And I said, what up, Will? Welcome. It's good to have you here, man. He said Zay will be big this year, I believe. Yeah, I traded for Zay Flowers later in the season. I expected him to boom, and he did. He was one of my better players on my sinking ship title squad team. So he did what he needed to do. So I have no qualms with Zay Flowers.
I love Zay Flowers. I had AR. So in one league I have in Dynasty, real quick, I have Kyler Murray, I have AR, and I think I had Jared Goff. And somebody offered me Lamar for A. Rich and Alvin Kamara. I took it. The reason why I took it because I already had Zay Flowers and I wanted that stack. So listen, guys, I think I'm the highest content creator in the game. I think Zay Flowers, I would not be surprised if he's top 5. How do you feel, Harambe? Would you be surprised if Zay is top 5?
Nope.
Okay.
So Lamar slimming down a bit tells me they're going to throw a little more. And they signed Bateman. They gave Bateman a deal. They're going to throw the ball a lot. So he might have probably his best passing year yet, I would think, right?
Come on, Harambe.
And I agree.
Come on, Harambe.
Zay Flowers next year will be a pick in the first 2 rounds.
Come on now.
I really agree with you, man. I'd take him as high as like late second, early third this year.
Yes.
So Mr. Willikers better get on his game and not snipe him from me. Let's see. Some goth girl said, hi, TD, hi, Booba. And I said, hi, baby.
Yeah, I see. I didn't know if that, man, I don't mean no pun. I didn't know if that was your old lady, like, trying to be funny and talking to you. I'm like, who is that? Hey,
no, that's my girl.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We're trying to teach her the fantasy realms, you know? Gotta get her in a squad.
Right.
Stephen G. Willikers said, Burrow gonna have his best year yet. Yeah, don't draft him. I said, oh golly gee. And then B said burr for Burrow. Yeah, he's ice cold, man. That guy's confident. If he stays healthy, sky's the limit. I think that's a playoff team. Nifty
I don't know if it's a playoff team.
Oh, they're going.
I would, because I believe Cleveland is a really good team. Now they don't have a running back, but if the Deshaun Watson steps up, then they don't really need. I think this team might transition into more of a passing team once they can trust Deshaun Watson, and then that's going to help Ford and maybe some of those other guys, and especially Amari Cooper and Njoku. I think the Cleveland Browns are better. So I guess would you say who's the bottom team in that division? You think the Steelers is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Mike Tomlin fights hard, man. That's the thing, man. I don't know if that defense is going to be tough. But you're right. I could say right now with the quarterback position, you could easily say the Pittsburgh Steelers.
To me, it would be between the Bengals and the Steelers, and I think the Bengals have a better quarterback.
Okay. I got you. That makes sense.
If it came down to like a healthy quarterback play, I think the Bengals win that.
Right. That makes sense.
Nifty said he's all over Joe Shiesty this year. Pause. Me too, man. Lots of pauses. Stephen G. Williker said, good to see Marilyn Manson plays fantasy.
He said you look like Marilyn Manson?
No, he's clowning on my girl because he's got that goth picture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I said smash that like button, and then I said button, obviously. Zach like Zeke. Stephen G. Willikers said Anthony Richardson QB1. I said what I said. What do you think of that? You think he's off his rocker?
For who to be the number 3?
Richardson. quarterback 1 overall in fantasy, Anthony Richardson.
No, he's not crazy. If he can stay healthy, that's not. I mean, I think he could have been the number 1 quarterback last year if he would have stayed healthy in fantasy.
Oh, he was balling.
Yes.
Putting up big points quick, like on every drive. He's putting up 6 points.
He had 25 points in the first quarter one game, didn't
he? Yeah, I think they were at home.
Right.
I forget who the opponent was.
Right. I think he had a concussion that game.
Yeah. Yeah. I love running quarterbacks. It's a cheat code. And if they can throw, man, what's not to like?
Right.
Zach said, got offered Isaiah Likely and Antonio Gibson for a 2025 first-round pick. Told him that's too rich and offered a second round. Offered Likely and Gibson. Yeah, man, you don't give up a first round for that. That's a good. I don't even think you give up a second round for that.
No.
Maybe not even a third.
Now I might do a third for both of them.
Late third.
Yes.
Maybe, depending on the draft class, but like.
Or what you need, you know what I'm saying? Because a third, I mean, to get Antonio Gibson and Likely, you get known commodities. So I don't think it's bad for a third round pick.
Yeah, I mean, it depends who's on the board, and like you said, who else you got on your squad. So I like Isaiah Likely. Pause. The Roll said, I have White as my RB26 in Dynasty. How much do you guys hate me? I don't hate you at all, man.
I don't hate you at all. That's a ranking is different. Like I like Jared Goff, but I can't rank him over Joe Burrow. I'd rather take Jared Goff this year over Joe Burrow, but I can't rank him over him. So ranking is different. But to me, when I'm drafting, Zamir White to me is probably like a top 12 guy the way I'm trying to get him on my team. But ranking, you can't like I'd rather have Zamir White than take Jonathan Taylor in the second round. That's just me. But I can't rank Zamir White over Jonathan Taylor.
I agree. And I'd be curious as to the reasoning why. I don't feel like that's even too low in Dynasty for the rankings, but I'm curious, like, what don't you like about him, Ro? Is it the lack of involvement in the passing game? Because, I mean, that would make sense. There's just no other guys there. So if he booms this year, he's going to be a top running back for a few years. They're going to keep him around.
Right.
Nifty said 8-point game now, so the finals is a good game. That's good to see. Hector, welcome, Hector. Spears is good, but he has no ACL in one of his knees and dealing with arthritis. Is that true?
Same thing about Raheem Mostert, but it ain't stopped him.
I didn't know that about Tajay. I didn't know he had those.
Yeah, man, he had a knee injury. He was real bad.
Okay.
In college.
Okay. Zach is all aboard the Zay Flowers train. Roll said Pollard, Najee, Stevenson, and then Zamir White are my rankings. So I think he's talking about Dynasty.
No way I'm putting Pollard over Zamir White. I might put Stevenson over him, and it's going to be really close with Najee, but I'm probably not going to put Najee over him because Najee is splitting the backfield. Nobody's splitting with Zamir White.
I wouldn't put Pollard over him, but I can see a case for Najee. So say Najee goes to like a team and becomes a bell cow and
that's different. That's different. Yes.
Yeah.
But not with the Steelers. Not right now.
No, I'd rather have Zamir White because of the touches he's going to get.
Correct.
But Najee is also in a contract year, so he's got to get that bag, right?
Right.
So I think he's also a good ADP smasher.
He is.
And then he said, those are the RBs I have ahead of him. I don't hate him, just like the talents ahead of him in my rankings, like Pollard and Stevenson and Najee. Yeah, man, I'm not going to fault you. I still think Pollard in redraft this year is undervalued.
Right.
So what if he balls out TD's a top 10 running back? It could happen. He's young. He's got a skill set.
Who you talking about, Pollard?
Yeah.
Yeah, he could, but if that's only if Tajay gets hurt. I think they like Tajay a lot. I think Tajay is more explosive right now in his career. I think Tajay could be one of the most explosive running backs in the NFL right now. Like, look at him. Look when he touched the ball. Go look at his PFF ranking. Like, this the guy can make guys miss, and he runs hard between the tackles. So I just think he's really talented. I think they like him. I need to see Pollard do what he did with the Cowboys first.
He at times last year when they were utilizing Spears, they overthrew him on like touchdown passes, and like he missed out on some big boom plays last year. So that this year, if he gets that, that's only going to raise his value.
Come on now.
Zach, with the last comment, if you guys have any other questions, post them. Any other topics, whatever. This is an open forum. Zach said, should I trade Luke Musgrave and a 2025 second round for D-Hop?
No.
Nah. The tight end position is so volatile, and TD made a good point. Like, that's the new like X factor position. So if you have a mismatch at the tight end spot, they'll capitalize on that. And he's very young. So you have essentially the starting tight end on Jordan Love's offense for the next several years. So I don't think you want to trade that away. That's just my opinion, though.
Right.
Rule said you can only predict running backs in a 3-year window. And in the 3-year window with Pollard, who has put up top 10 at times, that's why I like him. Yeah, I feel like he's slept on the role. I agree with you. I think I would draft him this year, but it would have to be at the right price, and it would depend like what other maybe receivers are there at the time and whatnot. Or if you don't have a quarterback and you're looking at the draft board and Pollard's there, or maybe like Matthew Stafford's there, I'm going to take Matthew Stafford. So it just depends on your situation.
Correct. Ro, tonight it'll be tough. I got to go to work in the morning. That's why we not, because usually we would have started going live probably like right now. It's just the algorithms are different at this point in time, but it's hard for me to do that. I might be able to do that once a week. But I even missed the live because I was so tired the other day. So, but yeah, bro, let me know a time ahead, and I love to come in on one of your lives, bro. We could do a dual stream together. But I can't do it tonight. But maybe let me know maybe early Saturday during the day, not at night. I definitely will come in.
Do you guys have any other questions before we head out? Any dynasty questions or redraft or other ADP smashers? Off top of your head, TD, what's another wild card ADP smasher in your opinion?
Some guys, I don't know if I would call these guys deep sleepers or ADP smashers. But I like Deontay Johnson. I think he could have a Brandon Ayuk type season where he could be like fringe top 12, like Brandon Ayuk was last year. I think he could be like Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen was top 5 wide receiver for 3 weeks when he was on that team. I think Deontay is going to be that guy this year. I love Deontay Johnson. I think we're going to really see the talent that he is this year. Hyper target guy. That's one of the hyper target guys I would love to draft. So I love Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, man. They brought in Leggett too. So with the new coaching scheme that's coming in, I think Adam Thielen pretty soon is going to start visiting bingo halls and chopping up coupons, right, out of the Sunday paper. So I would expect DJ and Leggett and maybe the rookie running back to get involved as the year progresses.
Right.
Zach,
I like Leggett. Leggett.
Yeah, Zach said Chase Brown. Yeah, man, we're both high on him. That's Walmart Eckler right there.
Yes, sir.
And then the roll, Josh Jacobs and Joe Burrow, and a second for Bijan, Tua, and a third.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Bijan, Tua, and a third instead of yeah, I'd probably do that too, man.
I'm getting Bijan. I'm getting Bijan. Tua. I mean, Burrow is better quarterback, but Tua gonna have some big games as long as he's there with Tyreek and Waddle.
Yeah, and my additional wild card player would actually be Tua. So last year he put up monster numbers. His number one wide receiver is one of your favorite players, your number one pick.
Yeah,
the cheetah.
Right.
And then he's got a Penguin on the other side who wasn't healthy last year, right?
Right.
So, and he's in a contract year. So I
No.
would look
Who's in a contract year?
Tua.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Waddle. Yeah,
No,
right.
Tua is. So like
Yeah.
he's got to secure the bag too. So with a healthy wide receiver core, I think Tua improves on his numbers from last year and maybe even adds a little bit of scrambling. So I feel GMs, like it's with Jared Goff too. They let these quarterbacks just slide in the draft,
Right.
and these are QB1s.
Right.
So that would be my additional wild card. And then the role said he got the Bijan said. I agree. I think Bijan is the key piece in that trade. You want to read some of the comments? We're down to the bottom too right now. TD.
Yeah, Chargers running back should be run heavy. They should be. I love Gus Edwards. I'm waiting late to get Gus Edwards, and I'm taking Kamani Vidal as a stash guy who can probably overcome him later in the season.
In the third and fourth quadrant type players.
Yes, 34th. All rookies are 34th quadrant type players.
Yep.
The Rose says I have Water and A-Chain as well. Got that stack. Okay, yeah, I have Water and A-Chain. Yeah, I love Water and A-Chain. I'm getting a quadruple stack in best ball. I'm trying to get Tyreek, Waddle, Tua, A-Chain. I'm trying to get all those guys.
When I think of Vidal, I think of like Kareem Hunt 2.0.
I haven't watched him enough to see if he's like that. But you think okay? I trust.
He's built, man. Pause. I think like Kareem Hunt exploded onto the scene. Pause. In the first game, I believe, like the first game he played, he balled out, and people were like, "Oh my god,
against the
who's
Patriots.
this guy?" Yeah. So to me, with that coaching staff and the scheme they're going to try to roll out, the power run game, I think he'll get play sooner rather than later. Maybe to even keep Gus healthy a little bit. See what they have in the rookie. Because J.K. Dobbins, I don't want anything to do with that guy. I don't trust him. I'm not drafting him. Got to let the smooth brains draft him. Maybe in Dynasty trade him for like a sixth or something if you go that deep in a Dynasty draft. But some people were excited that JK went to the Chargers. I just think it was just a guy to take up a roster spot. I'm not interested in JK. The other two running backs, though, at the right cost, yeah. Gus the Bus is going to be out the gate. He's going to be one of the better running backs. Zach said, Money Mitch said Waddle just got paid. Yeah, Waddle just got the bag. Gus the Bus, yes, sir. He's another perfect RB2 candidate in a 0 RB approach. Gus Edwards. And then Zach said I drafted Jalen Wright with pick 3.03 in my rookie draft. He's on your draft guide, isn't he, TD?
Yes. And also my Phenom Finder, which is Patreon. Make sure you sign up for that. Me and Dynasty Football Key, we came up with together with this model, and it's really good, guys. I had the guys, but he helped format it for me. So we both are doing this Patreon together. So guys, make sure you sign up for that. That way you can compare these rookies, and y'all gonna be like, wow, y'all gonna see how this data is very accurate. People who scored high, some of the late draft picks, even the guys that were free agents, they hit. So Jalen Wright is on this list, and guys, I call him. I guess since we're going with the Walmart thing, he's Walmart Chris Johnson.
I think where Zach got him in the dynasty draft in the early third it's a good spot, like especially if you took receivers or one of those high-ranking quarterbacks early. Mostert is going to be gone soon. Devin A-Chain's he's young, he's explosive, but they're going to utilize a second running back, and that guy's explosive. And the coach wants fast players. You notice every player he drafts is fast. Every player he's traded for since he's been with the Dolphins is fast. So this running back is no different. He is very fast, and the Chris Johnson comparison is spot on, in my opinion. I have a dynasty draft on Saturday. I have 2 third-round picks based on a trade I did last year, and I'm I'm targeting Wright and Kamani Vidal in the third round.
I think you be careful. Don't overdraft Kamani. He might be there in the fourth for you, just depending on who there. I like Kamani, but it depends on who's there. That's how I draft. I don't go off of ADP. I'm looking at the board and whatever left on the board. If a lot of running backs are gone and I have to get a running back, then I could take Jalen Wright at the end of the second round, depending on the league format. Some leagues don't have that many positions, so you might have to take a running back a little bit earlier. So it just depends.
Yeah. I got the second overall pick. I'm taking Marvin Harrison Jr. And then in the second round, I'll probably take Bo Nix. And then in the third, I want to pair him with Troy Franklin.
I like that.
A dynasty.
I like that. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. I agree with that. I did that myself. Happens. I had the number 4 pick. And I'm gonna tell you this real quick before we move on to Money Mitchell question. I had the 1-4. I took an orphan team last year, and at the 1-4, Drake May was on the board. I needed a quarterback. I got Trevor Lawrence, and then I got Trey Lance and a bunch of guys that's not starting. So I took Drake May, but Drake May is not going to win me no championship right now, right? I had to wait. So I traded Drake May for about 4 second-round picks, and I end up getting I think I end up getting Zay Flowers because he traded me Zay Flowers too. But I end up getting Bo Nix, Torrey Franklin, Jalen Wright, and who else? Blake Corn. Okay. So do you think I should have held on to Drake May, or should I have traded and got Bo Nix and got those 4 second-round picks?
I'm not focused on Drake May because he's not going to fall to me in my draft, but I'd probably want Drake May over Bo Nix because if you get Franklin, you could diversify your players, right?
Right.
I don't think it's based on the team's needs. I don't think it's bad one way or the other, but I have May over Bo Nix.
Right. I got him over them too, but I'd rather get a guy that's later in the draft to get 4 more second-round picks than just to say, well, I got Drake May, my team is good, and I need a lot more help on my team.
Yeah. Let me ask you. Actually, let's get to the chat, and then I got a dynasty question for you, TD.
Okay.
So Zach said, I got Brian Thomas Jr. at pick 203. And Jalen Wright at 3-3. So those are great picks.
Yes.
If Thomas falls to me in the second, I will probably take him over a quarterback. It's not even a question to me. Right. Ethan, what's up, Ethan? He said, what position do you think it's okay to be below average in? I think running back.
There you go.
I don't like drafting running backs, man. I just don't. Like the 0 RB approach, I'd rather be stacked with
I like
changeable weapons.
So real quick, guys, and y'all might laugh at me, and I'm gonna keep it real. I like my running backs like I like my women. Pause. Let me tell you what I like.
Go on.
I don't like no number 1 overall pick type running back. I don't like no number 1 overall pick type woman who thinks she the shit. I like to take my women where they humble, right? And they don't think they everything. And they can end up being great later because I can mold them into what I need them to because of the opportunity.
You don't want a baddie?
No. It doesn't matter to me because I can still. I'm gonna get because at the end of the day, I'm gonna get the box. At the end of the day, it's all box, right? And I'm not going to pick no. Let me try to think of a running back that I would say. I don't want no Miles Sanders. But I take a Brian Thomas type and still get the job done. Isaiah Pacheco, right? I'm like Kansas City. I can win Super Bowls, but not the high-level running backs. And then you also can get guys late in the draft who can end up booming like an Austin Eckler. Pause. So that's how I think I love drafting late round running backs. The third round, fourth round. I draft a lot of running backs around those rounds.
Yeah, I went in my draft last year, my redraft, my first running back was taken in the 6th. It was James Cook. And then I followed it up with Eckler. Not Eckler, Kamara. So I had these
Right.
2 running backs people didn't want anything to do with. And then, I steamrolled my opponents. Not at the end though, when it mattered. I could have used a different running back, but whatever. That's in
Right.
the past. We don't hold on to the past, right?
Right. Right.
Okay. Zach said Troy Franklin got picked right before my pick in the 3rd round. So Zach, you would have taken Troy instead of right there. I takes what you're saying. The role loves Drake May. Yeah, I think he's good, man. Ethan said, I think Bo Nix was the worst pick in the draft. I think he way too old.
You could be right. You could be right. But I'm willing for that to happen. And I got those 4 picks that I got. I don't like Bo Nix over Drake May, but I'm willing to take him. Because he got even over Penix because he got an opportunity to start. You never know what can happen. Sean Payton is a good coach. I'm willing to go down with that ship.
The problem I'm having is in the 2nd round, Penix will be there, and so will Nix. I like Michael Penix Jr. more than Bo Nix, but who knows when he's going to start?
There
So
you
maybe I
go.
want a guy who's going to start right away.
Agreed, 100%.
So I'm struggling with my 2nd round pick in my dynasty draft on Saturday. Maybe I'll hit you up, TD, for some consultation.
Right. I'll be here, bro.
I know, man. I know. Money Mitch is laughing at all the boxes.
Yes.
Stephen G. Willikers.
I'm telling you guys.
Sent 4 boxes.
Right. And listen, I'm telling you. So, yeah, I don't get it twisted. I want my woman to be presentable, right? But you get this pretty woman and you try to touch her and she's like, don't touch my hair. Don't put my legs up. Do it like this. Don't touch me. You're going too hard. And then, but I get a woman who'll be like, oh my God, this guy's awesome. He really likes me for me. And she just humble as she can be. And then mess around, I open up that box and I get a gold card.
Put my legs up, he says.
And you mess around and get a gold card. You can open the box up. You get a box, that they got cards out now.
Yeah.
And you open up a box and you got a gold card in there and nobody knew nothing about it. And it ain't been touched.
That's funny, man. Put the legs up, the double leg lift. That's gold. That's gold. Easy way to get to the box, right?
Right.
Pause. Lots of pauses. I said, Ethan said, yeah, I never see guys with great RBs and no receivers. The guy who won the championship in his league had James Cook and Kareem Hunt. Hunt went super late. Super late. I'm curious, though, Ethan, if you remember, what round did James Cook go in? Because everyone in my league wasn't touching him. In the draft, I needed a running back. He was there. I'm like, screw it. I took a chance. It paid off. UPS coming through with the shipments.
Yes, sir.
The rule said, I agree, Penix over Nix. That's another thing. Both the last 3 letters is Nix and Nix. That's kind of weird, right?
Right.
Silver! What up, Silver? When did people start saying pause? When we gave them a reason to.
Right. People started saying pause, man, instead of saying the no word, the word that they get you B2, right? Or whatever you want to call it. You can't say no that word anymore. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So we say pause.
Yeah, so you say pause.
Silver, we did ADP smashes. You go back and rewatch the video. Do you have any general questions? It doesn't have to be related to the topic of the cast. So do you have any fantasy questions, or you got any basketball, baseball questions? You joined kind of late, so we just want to see if you had anything to say or ask. If not, no biggie. But I thought your list was fire, as the kids say, TD.
Right. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. other than that, like, I'm good. This was a good cast.
Right.
Oh, no, I asked my question. I had a dynasty question, but I did ask it.
Right.
What do you think about McCaffrey's little brother on the Commanders?
I don't have an opinion about it. I'm not going to be caught into the last name. I got to see it first. Pause. I got to see it first. So I don't know. I know his work ethic is good, but I want to see him how he's going to be. What type of player he is. I know what type of player his brother is, but I don't know about him. So I'll be watching.
You got to see what's in the box, right?
Right. There you go. See if it's a gold card.
Ethan said he doesn't remember where James Cook went, but he traded like two bums and got him in a trade. Yeah, man.
Yeah, you killed it.
I think James Cook is still undervalued this year.
Right. That's highway robbery.
Yeah. So I'm good, TD. You want to plug your stuff?
Yeah, guys. Become a member of the channel. You get perks. You get to come up and chop it up with us. And I still wait now, guys. This is open, but it's more value and pickup. You're gonna make sure you want to get that perk because you're not gonna be able to come up as much. So make sure you get that. Also, guys, you get when I do mock drafts, you got priority if you are a member. Also, you can request videos, and you also get priority in the chat. So if I see you when we these lives is a little bit harder, but in the regular lives, if I see that you are a member, you get your questions answered first, unless you super chat. So that's why you want to become a member. Also, we're gonna have Discords, we're gonna have shirts, and you're gonna want to make sure you're a member. That way you can get a discount. Pro Bowl tier or better. Rookie tier, it just gets you the basic, but Pro Bowl or better, you get all the elite things. And the higher you go up, the more elite you get. Even you get off on consultations. I offer consultations too, guys. So make sure you become a Phenom crew where you get a half off on consultations as a Phenom member.
Zach said some people are saying Ray Davis will steal goal line carries from Cook this year. The only person who's going to steal goal line from Cook is Josh Allen.
Right. And Ray Davis might, but it doesn't matter. James Cook's still going to be the best player on far as that I want off that team outside of Josh Allen. That's just how it's going to work with James Cook. So he might get a couple goal lines, just like Jahmyr Gibbs might get some stuff stolen from him, but he's still going to be good. James Cook's still going to get opportunities to score.
Wilkers said James Cook ain't him, and then he said LOL, and I said, how dare you? Siobhan, what's up, Siobhan?
What's going on, Siobhan?
Siobhan, do you got any fantasy football questions? It doesn't have to be related to the topic. If you do, put it in the chat. Then Stephen G. Wilkers said, I suppose you can catch a few more balls. Pause.
About it, though.
You're about it? You're about catching balls, Steve-O? What's going on? What's going on there? Come on. But
all right,
yeah,
guys.
man.
Well, I guess we're gonna get ready to get out of here. Sorry if you just got in, but we gotta go. We're gonna watch a little bit of the game, and we'll be doing fantasy after dark on Saturday, and that will be that would be a fantasy after dark for real. We'll be a lot more edgier, and we'll be going live for a little bit longer and a little bit later. So, guys, I appreciate everybody coming in. Real quick, Money Mitch says, speaking of Cook, can't believe nobody has grabbed his bruh. Right. It's over for him. He's old. He's older. Siobhan says, what topic? Sorry, just saw you. You guys were live. No problem. We just talked about running backs. You can go back and rewind it. Siobhan, we just talked about 5 guys, each of us, that going to smash their ADP.
Dean. What's up, Dean? Thoughts on Alvin Kamara? What's not to like?
I love him. I love his value. To me, he's my first 0 RB target that I'm taking off the board. If he falls, if he don't, then I'm going Zamir White. Alvin and Zamir White is my 2 favorite guys that I'm taking as late round running backs this year.
So last year, finish your point, TD. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm done. I was just saying,
he was suspended, so he fell in drafts. But we know what that guy can do. So I took a chance on him, and I threw him on the bench until it was time to unleash the beast. Right.
Right.
But, I feel he'll be ranked higher, or he'll go higher in drafts this year because of no suspension. So what do you think is a good round to take him? 5?
4th?
late fourth,
For early fourth.
fourth rounder. Period.
Yeah, fourth round. Period.
He's one of my favorite players. Golly G. Willikers can attest to that. I draft that guy anytime I can. He's a stud. He's got dreadlocks. You know, that gives you like plus 10 on every like speed, power, pass catching, all that stuff.
Right.
I want to see more touchdowns this year out of Kamara, and I want to see him peppered with check down targets like he was right when he came back. There was like a 3 or 4 game stretch he was getting 10 targets through the air.
Right. I'm okay with as long as he gets the touchdowns. If he don't get as many targets, as long as he gets the touchdowns.
Yeah. What do you think, Dean? How early would you take Kamara? Because we're high on him. He's a Hall of Famer. But anyway, late night Saturday, we'll be going late.
Yep.
It'll be party atmosphere.
Yes, sir.
Zach said, in one of my dynasty leagues, Zamir White is on the waivers. Why?
The commissioner of the league didn't open up the waivers wire yet. Need to add Zamir. So to me, I was spending everything I had.
Everything.
Yep.
That's a startable player.
Yep. You got to spend everything.
You're going to be competing with other GMs to get that free agent. So you got to. I would imagine most people are going to throw a lot of money at him.
Yeah, I would spend 90% of my fab up to 100%.
That's wild to me, man.
Yeah,
that's wild. But
all right, guys, will y'all be safe? I see y'all Saturday. I will try to do a couple videos tomorrow. So y'all guys be safe. Peace.